It's going well, Carlos. What a great Thursday to have another State of DEGA.
Nice, nice. Always a pleasure to have you on board, Sheridan, as usual.
Thank you. Glad to be here this Thursday. I'm excited for what we got to see today.
Yep. Yeah, well, actually, I'm excited to see what you gotta show, what you'll be sharing with the community today. I know you shared it with me, but it was, I think, a few months ago, so excited to see where it's at now. Rabbit, you there? Can you hear us? Can your mic work? If you're talking, we can't hear you, so probably there's some issue there with your microphone.
Hello, Cobb. I hope you've had a great time. I see
Cub,
Phoenix. I see
welcome.
Frog. I see Lucky Cobb, Michaela, Randomize, Mimi, Slim. Welcome into the State of DEGA, guys.
Welcome, everybody. Okay, Rabbit's having issues with the audio, so let's jump right into it. Of course, everybody feel free to drop any comments or questions in the chat. We'll address them as we go by. Um, so let's check out what the schedule for today is. So first off, we'll have Sheridan. So a pretty cool demo of what he's been working on. I always like to see creators, just take the initiative, take the plunge. So excited to see that. After that, I'll be doing a voice agents demo, right? So we'll go through one of the NPCs that we created last State of Dega. I think this one was provided, the personality, the character was provided by Phoenix, and we will now give him a voice, right? And after that, we'll talk a little bit more about what's to come, what's the next stage after for Q2, right? In this Q2, we will be doing the release of the AI agents, the new AI agents platform, right? And then, the closing, of course. So let's jump right into it then, Sheridan. Let's get started. Care to share your screen and show us what you got?
Absolutely. Give me an absolute moment to get it selected here. And I'm sure all of you might remember, but a few months ago I announced the DEGA 8. I released this web app as a demonstration of the vision that DEGA has, where developers and amateurs alike can go and put their idea for a game to the test and get something to play with in minutes instead of months. So I built this with that vision in mind. It is a Pico 8 game generator. And I've created a list of things that we can prompt up and make some games with. Uh, this is the live site. You can go see it right now if you'd like. It's dega8.com or dega-8.com. Either one works. You will need a API key from OpenAI and a Pico DAT file, and you can get that from lexwaffle.com. If you just search Pico 8, you'll find their site. But our game is now generated, so let us play it. It says that we create black holes to attract and change how objects work. Oh, cool. I'm not sure if you can hear the little game sounds. The website does come preloaded with
Yeah,
some sound,
yeah, we can hear
and
them. We can
you
hear
can
the game sounds.
actually import your own sounds from Pico 8 that you design into the sound system here. I want to give as much creativity to the community as possible. In that line, the next few features that are coming are Canvas and Bug Snap. Those are the two big ones that I want to get out in May and show off at the next State of DEGA. Canvas mode, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. ChatGPT is a document that can edit itself and extend itself with the AI's support. I'd like to do that for the Pico 8 game file. I found a pretty cool utility called Open Canvas, and I'm going to just rip a lot of what they're doing and put it in here. I'm very excited to get long form games that will allow for more complexity.
Hmm.
The next thing that I'm excited to get put in to the site next month is Bug Snap, which will take a snippet, like a screen cap of the game as it is, and you can add your own context, and it'll suggest some corrections or recommendations, and you can directly implement that, and the system will make a new game with those bug fixes implemented.
Hmm.
I think I think those two are
Okay.
going to be really, really quite a bit of fun, and I'd like to show them off at the next State of Dega. But as a
Of course, you're always welcome here. No, I
thank you
gotta
so
say,
much.
everybody, so you should really give congrats to Sheridan. I mean, he's been working on this on his part-time and some remarkable progress, considering this is your very first step, right, Sheridan?
No, no, I this will be like my sixth or seventh web project, but it will be the first one using AI, and it will be the first one
Hmm.
at this level of complexity for sure.
Okay,
Uh,
still, that's pretty impressive, right? Yeah, I mean, this is what everybody needs to be doing, right? Like whatever idea that you have, whatever creative vision you want to bring into the world, just like Sheridan did here, you need to do it with AI. Right? If you're not doing it with AI, you're by the time you release, you're already obsolete, right? And this is just getting started, right? However, you see the current systems, faulty as they may be with their mistakes, they're at the worst that they will ever be, ever, right? So you can only assume that they will get better. To give you an example, right? Cursor, they're probably the biggest success case in terms of AI applications. I think they're at 300 million annual recurrent revenue. I tried it out when it just released, and it wasn't good enough. I didn't like Cursor because the AI models then were still not making good code. But the Cursor team, wisely so, knew that the AI agents were going to get there, right? Maybe not exactly when, but they knew it was not 5 years away, right? They knew it was 6 months away, 12 months away, maybe 18 tops. So, with that vision in mind, as they were waiting for those agents to get better, they already built their product, they created their community, they went out there, and then, like snapping your fingers, as soon as Cloud Sonnet 3.5 came out, they just integrated it into their system. I kid you not, it probably took them 5 minutes to do that, right? They just had to, because they already had Claude, they had the previous version. So they just had to point to a new version in all of their application, the infrastructure, all the tooling that they had built, which was not good enough, instantly became outstanding. It didn't go from not good enough to kind of okay, right? It went from not good enough to outstanding, right?
I completely
So
understand. Like,
they killed
I
it.
I give a bit of a giggle at the integration speed because I'm adding in the new OpenAI models as well. And I was testing it out last night, and I got an error saying that the system message is not supported. So I need to go
Mm,
in and add a toggle to add in the developer role for when I'm using the new models. So it does depend on which model you're using for new integrations, but uh, I also have quite enjoyed the use of Cursor. And I want to kind of tease a little bit of what you shared with me. I hope it's not too much of a leak. But the way that DEGA 8 is going to integrate with the DEGA agents is through your customized code blocks that you talked about at the last State of DEGA. You did mention to
Hmm.
me in a private call that we can use those for fetch requests. So we can actually make
Yeah,
API calls uh,
yeah,
to
yeah, 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 for
to
sure.
to customized services. I have a goal of
Yeah.
providing DEGA 8 as a API tooling that can allow your agents to generate a Pico 8 game and then post about it, or write a blog about it, or talk about the mechanics that they were utilizing in the game.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean,
So
even in the last State of Dega, when I showcase using what's called RAG, right? That's a technical term, but essentially giving the agents an external memory source. If you'll recall, we fed a document to a database and then had the AI be able to acquire that knowledge. That database is not living in our system, right? That was an external database. That's AstraDB is the one that I used. So yeah, those they're called components, right? It's not a big let's say exciting lavish name, but those components can essentially make API calls. So that way you can plug in any external system to these artificial intelligence agents. And that's why again, this had to be the core, right? That's why we had to shift from everything that we were doing in terms of priorities, right? To make AI first, because that's what's really gonna matter going forward.
it really is. It's going to be such an important. I don't want to quite call it jet fuel, but a lattice. It will be an important way to climb up.
Mhm. That's right. That's correct.
So I've just been
Beautiful.
generating games as we've been chatting here. So I hope everyone's been enjoying the demo I
Mhm.
have. There is the alpha.dega8 subdomain if you'd like to go try out I am pushing out. Right now it's a little bit buggy and it doesn't have the bug snap or canvas, but I will be making a post and content showcase once the alpha site does have those features.
Beautiful.
All right, I'd love to
Beautiful. Well
hear
done.
some about the voices. Let me hear the NPCs, Carlos.
Yeah, yeah. I'm getting that set up now. Let's see.
Any questions from the crowd about Dega 8, please?
Yeah, I'll be posting while I get set up. Do we have any questions for Sheridan regarding his Pico 8 development? I think this is just like the very, very start of something that can become very, very powerful. If you see right now, the games that are growing the most are casual games. And what you build, those could easily run within mobile phone context. Just a matter of building the DevOps to get them deployed there. But I can definitely see, a whole bunch of AI generated games being deployed on mobile with this application.
Absolutely. Pico 8 is already optimized for running even on low powered mobile hardware. It has
Mm.
a web client. Uh, it basically converts itself into JS code that can run in the web.
Mm,
So
I
that's how
see.
I have this running. Actually, I found this utility that converts the Pico Lua into JavaScript outside of the console, and that's the real secret sauce. Is someone somewhere made my miracle happen, and I put it all together.
Beautiful. Oh, and one other thing, like, do those Pico games, for example, do you manipulate the pixels directly, or can you upload assets as well, like ready built images?
So I am going to be adding a text input like the sound setting has. There's a similar graphics, and I don't want to call it setting, but where you can actually store the data for the graphics pixels. Um,
Hmm.
so I do want to provide some default graphics for the Dega 8 and expose that for people to add in their own graphics. I just haven't gotten around to it
Mm,
yet. It's honestly as easy
okay.
as
Okay.
copying the sound setting and then just changing where it inputs and what it saves locally as.
All right. All right. Well, that's good to know. Yeah, because there's a lot of ready-made pixel art that you could just have that deploy and then people could just reuse that instead of having to design all the graphics for their games as well.
Well, the nice thing about DEGA 8 using modern models is that you can actually tell it to use pixel graphics. So it will create like circles and blocks, and you can tell it to arrange them in complex ways. You can even tell it
Mm,
to pixel fill in order to texture and color blocks and circles. Uh,
mhm.
so as long as you are detailed enough in what you want, the the AI can actually utilize the programmatic settings of Pico to get those graphics.
Mhm. That's pretty dope. Okay. Looking forward to playing with that definitely. And for everybody, oh, you should drop the URL in the chat as well so that
I
anybody who wants to go and check
should.
it out
I should
can do that.
indeed. Here we
All
go.
right. Next up, I'll be sharing my screen. You guys let me know when you can see my screen.
I can see it.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So here are several of the flows that we created last time, right? When we created our NPCs, right? And as you guys can see, here's the architect. We already demoed that,
Actually,
so I
Carlos,
won't go
Carlos,
through the same things.
Carlos. We can only see
Yeah,
your Discord screen.
God damn it. It's always the same thing with Discord. This is the last one we're doing in Discord, guys. We're not doing more. We're gonna do Twitch next time.
That's going to be awesome.
I'm, I'm done with Discord. Let me try again. It could be something super simple, but for some reason, see share application audio. How about now?
Did you select your screen or the application?
I said all applications.
Oh, flip over to a different one. We just see Discord right now. You just stopped your stream.
Yeah,
All right. All right.
and share entire screen. That's literally what I'm clicking. So,
Oh, now you're sharing your screen. I see your like Mac toolbar and everything. Now we can see the Dega site. All right, you're good.
okay, great, thanks. So basically, here are the flows. We created several of them last time with the state of Vega, thanks to some help from John and Phoenix. We also have the architect. You guys already saw how that works. And essentially, just a quick peep here. It's this easy to have an AI agent here in the Data Agents platform. You can just have a chat input connected to your agent and your chat output. In this case, I'm using OpenAI. In case anybody wants to take a look at what's supported, there's a whole bunch of other stuff: Amazon, Anthropic, Grok, NVIDIA, OpenAI, whole bunch of stuff. And then we're gonna give voice to this agent, right? And if you wanted to chat with it, you can just hit playground and you can start talking to it. But we're gonna go to a new concept that we've been building, right, which we're calling Sparks. Sparks, think about them like how DigitalOcean has droplets, right? Because they're an ocean, so they have drops. Here we have Sparks, right? And Sparks are essentially a unit of compute. Think about them as infrastructure, right? So let me click this one, edit details. This is the shopkeeper Spark, right? It says it's active. Here on the right, you'll see a few of the URL APIs that we need to connect to because using voice isn't just about the agent or the LLM. You need to have a distributed infrastructure so that your latency is relatively low. In this case, I'm also already experimenting with adding phone calls, so you be able to call your characters or your NPCs to do the phone. This part I will not be showcasing just because I still need to do some more testing. Not on our code, actually, it's on the Twilio side. I need to see some configurations that need to be done on their platform. And yeah, so essentially, we already showed you how to create a flow last time. Here, you just create this Spark. It's literally just filling out this form, and then this will generate an infrastructure component. And now I'll showcase what interacting with these agents via voice looks like, right? So let's hit it here.
Hello. How can I help you today?
Hey there, how's it going? What's your name?
Hello. Hello. Wolf of a small street. Your friendly neighborhood shopkeeper. I'm here to help you find the best deals on some fantastic items. How can I assist you today?
Yeah, just let me know what items you have available.
Absolutely. Here's what I have available for you today on rusted flimsy chainmail. Class, armor, cost. Quattro copper, defense. Suno, description. It'll keep thorns off you, but that's about it. Only for the poorest or stingiest adventurer. Dos, rusted cracked short sword. Class, weapon, cost, cinco copper, attack. Suno, description, perfectly useful for
Okay,
cutting grass. Not much else.
so, okay, cool, thanks. Now I'd like to know a little bit more about your story and your background.
Ah, my story. It's quite the tale, if I do say so myself. I was born as a poor man's son, growing up in the humble streets of this very town. Life was tough, and I learned early on that if I wanted to make something of myself, I had to be clever and resourceful. In my youth, I took to adventuring, traveling from village to village, honing my skills and learning the ways of the world. I encountered all sorts of characters, some noble, some not so much. It was during these travels that I discovered my knack for sales. I could charm the coins right out of a king's pocket. Eventually, I became an apprentice to the best salesman who ever lived, or so they say. Some folks might call him a scammer, but I learned the art of persuasion and bartering from him. I mastered the craft, and now I run my own shop here, offering the finest wares, or at least the most interesting ones, to adventurers like yourself. Oh, and I can't forget my trusty companion, my orange tabby cat. I affectionately call him my orange pest menace, or rat poison on quattro legs. He keeps the pests away from my potions and is quite the character himself. If you happen to pet him or speak fondly of him, I might just give you a little discount. So, that's my story in a nutshell. What about you? What brings you to my humble shop today?
All right. Yeah, so essentially, if you saw there was a lag, that's because I'm using my development environment right now. It's not optimized for production release. Before that, obviously, we have to tweak it to make sure that latency is at the latest, I would say 1.5 seconds of delay. And also, you might have noticed there were some words or some phrases that it was saying in a little bit of a funny way. That's also because right now I was testing with a provider that for some reason does Spanish really, really, really well. And it kind of sucks at English. And usually you get the opposite. Like most of the voice models or services out there are really good in English and they suck at Spanish or everything else. But these guys are the opposite. So, I'm still playing around and seeing which provider we're going to use. We're probably going to have to mix them. We're going to have to use something like Google for English, and then probably this provider, which is called Cartesia for Spanish and in other languages. But yeah, it'll be that easy
Bueno.
to be able to create your agents, right? Just drop in the flow. This is by the way, the prompt and everything here was created by Phoenix, so big shout out to him. Um, and then create your flow, create your Spark, which is filling out a form, and you'll be able to plug in via voice and talk to your characters. You're gonna say something, Sheridan? I interrupted you.
No, I was saying bueno. Glad that
Yeah.
we got a good
Mm.
Spanish company, and yeah, English is a dime a dozen. You can find anyone for that.
Yeah. So essentially, what we've covered already through these State of DEGA is, well, first off, we just showcase how to build flow, how easy it is to integrate external knowledge into the agents. Now we've showcased how you can deploy infrastructure with the Sparks and how you can connect with the voice. Right now, I use the web app. We will be providing like a default web method to connect with your characters, but there will be also phones available later on. So I already tested it and it worked. So you can literally call your character, your game character, but it's still, again, it needs a little bit of tweaking on the Twilio side, mostly because telephony is a highly regulated industry, so they make you go through a whole bunch of hoops just to get a simple connection. And for those who have not seen those parts when we were explaining, why we are building this platform, if we had already deployed the first one with agents. The reason being is that like we found that what everybody wanted is they wanted their agents to do very specific things, right? So we deployed a character use case that was fine, and many of you have created characters on Twitter. It hasn't failed at all. It's working perfectly fine. There are some occasions in which Twitter decides to block you or ban you. Mostly that's because we don't have your agents don't have enough followers. If you have like 3,000 followers, they don't Twitter doesn't bother you at all. But we noticed that everybody wanted something custom out of their agents. Like some people were telling me, I want to feed it, 500 PDFs. Somebody else would say, well, I wanted to get live data from this website, right? Or I want to be able to add a list of websites from it to feed on. And then other people wanted it to send an email and so on. So it would be impossible for us to be able to provide the use cases for everybody. And in the past, I've done many applications in which they're kind of traditional sense. You keep adding menus and features and buttons, but it becomes like this massive uphill battle, right? To be able to satisfy the users and maintain such a complex system. So I remember having a conversation with Michael, and I was like, I need a pattern, a way to be able to just do one thing and then let everybody else build on top of that. And that's when we came into this new vision with the Dega agents, right? We were building on top of open source software, right? We didn't create all of this, not by a long shot. That would have taken like years. So but on top of that, we're adding our value proposition, right? Which is the architect, the Sparks, the voice and real-time infrastructure. So essentially, empowering everybody to be able to build out these systems however they want it. And later on, just like Sheridan, how you showcase, you just asked for a game and the agent created your Pico game. That's how those flows will be created eventually as well, right? Right now, it can analyze the flows as we showcased in the previous State of Dega. It can add components, but in the coming weeks, we're going to make it so that it'll even plug them in, right? So it'll build out the entire, let's say, brain or AI pipeline for your system. So yeah, basically that's the whole reason behind this
The
product
coming
and the
weeks,
way that
eh?
we needed to.
The coming
Yeah, weeks
weeks,
for
eh? Oh
development,
my gosh.
development, not deployment, right?
Oh, I
Uh,
understand, but are the beta testers going to be getting a deployment here sometime in the next few weeks?
yeah, I'm literally working on the deployment right now as we speak.
Oh my goodness, you've heard it here first. Beta testers, get ready.
Yeah, yeah, we'll release it to the mod team first. Once you guys have used it and we're sure that it's relatively stable, then we'll open it up to more testers, just like last time. That's why the current agents one is working smoothly, right? Because we did a very phased rollout in a way that by the time we released, basically all the issues were addressed. So that's what we're going to be doing here again. So first off, it's released to the mods, then expanding to the beta testers, and then open it up to a limited amount of people, and then we open it up to everybody, right?
I love it. I love it. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, and once we provide it to you guys, we'll start doing live streams, showcasing what you're building with it, doing workshops to teach everybody how to go about it. We'll reach out to all of our existing partners to do integrations and hackathons with them. And then, which will be different integrations on different types of blockchains. Obviously, it's going to be Cardano there. There's going to be VMs ones there. We're going to talk to our Cosmos friends and see if they want to jump in and provide some integrations and build with us. But that's essentially, the next few months. That's what we'll be busy doing, right? Releasing these, doing the integrations, bringing in more builders, and growing the ecosystem that way.
That's super exciting, Carlos. I can't wait to see all the new crowd come in.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, everybody. So, in terms of what we've done here today, we've already showcased Sheridan's game development tool. We've showcased our AI agents platform. Already know you guys know how the phase rollout is going to work, what the next stages are, and how we're going to be engaging with our partners and hopefully new partners as well in the industry. And that's essentially what we're going to be doing in Q2. Release will be happening in Q2 as well. For anybody that wants to get their hands on this, it'll be very, very short wait time. Although in crypto, everybody's super anxious. So in other industries, people take their time, but this quarter you'll be able to play with this. Um, if I don't see any particular questions right now in the chat, so if there's nothing else, then I guess we'll be heading off. Such a shame the rabbit couldn't comment here. I know he wanted to say some cool stuff around the voice agents, but his Discord is messing up. That's why no more Discord. This will be the last one we'll be doing in Discord. I'm switching to Twitch next time. And we'll take it from there.
Twitch does have a pretty cool collaborative streaming tool, so you can just send all of us a link, and then we'll be in a private server to you can stream into Twitch or
Yeah,
into your
yeah, much better.
broadcasting software.
Yeah, and they handle the recording, everything, right? There's no need to do absolutely anything else.
Up to a point.
Yes.
Twitch will hold your stuff for 7 days if you're like just a Twitch account, and 14 days if you're like a affiliate.
Yeah, that's tolerable, right? That's a bigger reason to join the live stream, right? And then if if you miss the live stream, then you just wait 7 days and we'll have it ready for you.
Yeah, we'll have it by then for sure.
All right. Cool. Well, MC John wanted to say something. I see. Just want to shout out to Carlos, Eduardo, et al. Y'all been cooking. Thank you, John. We would not be able to do this without your support. You've been key in helping us, move forward. Same as Phoenix, same as Sheridan, Frog. Much love to you guys for your support. Um, it says, okay, Phoenix says, from what I understand, you'll have to download the VODs from the Twitch and process them for YouTube upload. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. But I'm not concerned about, at least Twitch removes the concern about us, the recording failing, right? Like if we need to do some work after that, that's fine. But it's what matters is that the content's there, that it's not, that it didn't fail, right? Because it has happened to us. I think it's happened twice in State of DEGA that we haven't been able to record it. So um, hopefully, my switching platform, we won't have that issue. And hopefully the Rabbit's audio will be working on Twitch as well. All right, everybody. So that was it for today. We showcased two pretty cool platforms being built on the ecosystem. Sheridan will have greater updates for us in the next State of DEGA. And in our case, next State of DEGA, I want to see our mods showing the DEGA AI agents, right? I want to see somebody else playing with it and see what we built there. So without further ado, everybody, I'll let you get back to your day. As always, we're in the chat. You know where to reach us: Discord, Telegram, and looking forward to seeing you again. Take care.
Thank you so much, Carlos. Have a great day, everyone. We'll all see you in the channels.
Bye bye.